Hi everyone, this is Joanna Mateus, and today I'd like to share with you some information of the study case I chose. So, this is going to be divided in two parts. The first one is the contextualization or description of the bilingual educational context, and the second one, the problematic that was identified regarding the evaluation process carried out there. So, let's start. The context I'll be talking about is a private language institution of education for work and human development called Smart Academy. This is a school whose mission is to develop communicative skills in languages for students who want to expand their job opportunities and personal growth. It has different branches not only in Cundinamarca, Bogota, Chía, and Soacha, but also in different regions of Colombia like Antioquia and Santander. Um, the institution offers courses in various languages, such as Spanish, Italian, German, Portuguese, French, and English, which is the language with the largest number of students. The population, the population who enroll this academy are students from the age of 12 and older. Some students are still at the school, some others at the university studying different careers, and others work and study languages there. The students can choose between personalized, online, and on-site classes. And the methodology of teaching of a second language is called presentation, practice, and production, PPP. That's the name of the methodology. Now, the problematic. So the problematic that is going to be described was identified in the evaluation process carried out at the academy, where tests are used for two purposes. First, there is one for new students who want to enroll in the English course. This is called the placement test, used to classify students according to their level of proficiency in a second language, which permits the teacher and the future learner to know the level the student can start the English course from. And second, the tests that are applied to each two units of the books to evaluate the progress of students. It is important to emphasize in here that the evaluation process has many advantages, not only for teachers, but also for students. However, from a critical point of view, it's worth mentioning the limitations of this process. So, the assessment, first of all, is divided in two parts. In two parts. The first part, students should access to a platform called Moodle platform, in an asynchronous way and develop a test which is focused to evaluate listening, writing, and reading skills. And the second part is the oral test. This is carried out in a synchronous way where students access to a Google Meet link and interact with the teacher, answering some questions like having a conversation. And at the end of the conversation, the teacher provides feedback to highlight their strengths and of course to let them know the aspects to improve. Good. So the problematic is that there are some limitations that take place when assessing language proficiency in students, new and regular students. According to Baker 2006, cited by Gomez 2020, there are 9 of these limitations, but today I would like to focus on 3 of them. Those are, so the first one is ambiguity. Good. The tests applied at the Institute are too general and with limited information, which don't permit to identify in an adequate and specific way the real competence of a student in the second language. In addition, the time given to evaluate progress in the oral proficiency in every 2 units is quite short. 5 minutes to evaluate 4 grammar topics, which doesn't allow students to use their whole repertoire of English language, and this also generates a pressure environment. That's it. The second one, it's going to be constricted selection of language dimension. In this case, this limitation is presented in the placement test. specifically in the oral evaluation, where the use of grammatical structures and advanced vocabulary, such as phrasal verbs and idiomatic expressions, is valued more than the student's willingness to communicate or and the number of examples given in the open questions, the quantity of information. So in the pictures that I'm sharing in this moment, it is evident that the questions to classify the students in each level and the evaluation criteria, here, evaluation criteria, are too general and do not specify what is expected of the student in terms of the language use. This is important since, according to the Organization Economic Cooperation Development, OECD, in 2017, students need to be clear about what is expected of them throughout their learning process. That is part of the learning process, which is very important. The third constraint or limitation that I would like to mention here is the inattentiveness to transformation. As can be seen in this picture, the tests are not updated or adjusted frequently, which is a limitation because they do not take into account the changes of languages, the context, and students' characteristics. For example, the tests are not designed with the age of the students in mind. So the same tests are applied to everyone, children, teenagers, adults, etc. So for example, in here, as you can see, 2020, and the same questions evaluated compared in 2022 are the same questions. So they are not like changing too much. Then, because of the above mentioned, as I said before, of course, the evaluation process has many advantages that can't be denied. But in accordance with what Kumarava Dibelu, cited by Cruz 2013, said, when proposing a post-method pedagogy, not only in the way of teaching, but also in the way of evaluating our students, the parameters or concepts such as particularity, possibility, and practicality have relevance since it's important to start from the context, the socio-cultural conditions, the linguistic and local needs of the students, and integrate them in the classroom, which will lead us to educational research, educational investigation, with the purpose of improving our practices, theorizing, which is important, but applying at the same time. So, thank you so much for your attention. I'll be happy to read your comments, opinions, or suggestions in the forum. And that is all. Thank you so much.